Okay folks, welcome back. So if you've been following my build on my floating router for the mortise and tenon, for doing mortise and tenons, then I got this thing a little bit further. I've only really had just a few hours to spend on it. I've got so much kitchen work to do that I've just got a few minutes here and there to spend on this. So if you haven't seen any of my videos on it, I'll post a link in the description. That, you know, I built one years ago, but the thing was monstrous, and since I started doing videos again, one of the things I realized is that I got to make machines pretty small, because I know you guys only got small shops. So so the rig, what it does, it makes it so that you can make these mortise and tenons. I don't have a mortise piece here, but it'll make the matching mortises, and literally just in seconds. Same thing, you know, making dowels on the end of 2x6 and such. So I'll leave the link in the video description to show you where to find the old one so you can see what it does. And now what I'm doing is I'm making a smaller one and a lot simpler to build. So the last video that I did, I just had the mechanism, just the floating mechanism done. Well, now you can see that I've got my router mounted up on top of this, and I ended up using, this was an old plunge router. I've got a bunch of these around here, so I didn't really want to go and spend a bunch of money to buy, you know, just a fixed base. So I really did this the same way you would a fixed base, just by making a piece on the front here and just clamping it in. And like I said, I just made a simple wooden set of slides, and I'll grab the video camera once I show you here, so you can see that it's got the floating action. Well, now I got it so it goes back and forth too. And I was going to try to do something complicated, but the thought kept going through my mind is keep it simple, stupid. You know, you don't want to make something complicated. I want to make it so that if you guys want to make it, then you'll just be able, it'll be simple. And that's what this is. This is just a simple lever system that will move my router back and forth. And it's done very easily. I've got to put, obviously, another handle here because I want to have a nice handle right about here to be able to hold on to this thing, to be able to do the floating action. And then my other hand will be on another handle that will move it back and forth. So, really, really simple. So, and you can see it gives me a great range of motion with this simple mechanism. And I'll leave a link in the description too, showing the first parts of this build, so you guys can see how I made the rest of this box. Really just a box inside of a box inside of a box. Real easy to make. So now what I'll do is I'll grab the camera and I'll zoom you in close and show you how I made this. This is, and literally I just stuck this together. I'm going to refine it some, but just to show you the basic mechanism. I'm out of time today, and it's been a while since I put a video up, so I thought I'd just shoot you one and show you it thus far. So I'll grab it and bring you in. So there, now I'll give you a close-up of this thing. So I did the exact same thing with the set of slides, just a simple plywood set of slides, just a piece of plywood on the bottom, then another little piece in between, and then then the piece on the top that locks it in, and then the piece that's made to go in between is a super tight fit, and then all I did was spray it with spray silicone, and that makes it so it'll slide real good on itself. And then I did have to build it up with a couple of blocks of plywood to be able to get it above so that I could get my width back to be able to make my router mount. With this top one, I ended up having to groove it a little bit. You can just see that it's a little bit higher, it looks loose, but that top part really isn't any part of the slide other than, you know, it's part of this thick part right here. So the router mount's nothing fancy, just something that was quick, just carved out around it. You know, if it was a round router, it would have been way easier. This took probably the most of the time on getting this made right here was to make that router mount. And I still got to make the back one here. But once I had the first one in, there's actually a flat spot on this router that what I did was get it balanced on that, and then I cut this out so that the router's balanced on the bottom on this. So the router's very, very sturdy in there right now. But once I make the back router mount, it'll be a lot more sturdy. Now you can see the simple mechanism that I made to make the router go in and out. It's just a very simple lever system. I was just sitting there trying to figure out how I was going to do it, and there was a couple of pieces of scrap wood, and I literally just stuck a few screws in here just within a minute or two, and this is what it works like. It's very, very simple. It'll give me about 3.5 inches of travel, and it's very easy to push in and out. And like I said, super easy to make. So I want to make a nice handle, something that's going to be comfortable to hold on to here, and then I want to have another handle that I'm going to be able to hold on to here that'll give me the control to be able to do the floating action. So it should work pretty slick, and the nice thing about it's going to be super easy to make. So then I got to make obviously my back piece here with my bearing running directly in line with my router bit, and then build some sort of little stop mechanism into here, and then my bunks on either side, and we'll be ready for a test run. So that's for another video. I'm out of time today, and just thought I'd shoot you guys a video of it so far. So hopefully you had fun watching. Hopefully you'll keep tuning in, and I thank you for watching this video. So now what I've got so far here is I've just cut a bottom piece of plywood here, as you can see, and then I've just cut 2 strips of a plywood just a slight bit thicker than the thickness of the plywood, and I mean ever so slightly too. I want a nice snug fit for this slide. So then what I did was I cut a piece of plywood to fit in between, and the same thing, a super nice snug fit, and I've just air nailed these along the sides. Now what I'm going to do is just air nail these on the top. This is the top part of my slides, and then once I get that done, I'll put a few screws down through to hold this nice and tight, and that'll just make a simple slide mechanism for my router to run on.